Welcome to Global Tax Talks Tax in 60 Seconds. I'm Will Morris on the cold and snowy US East Coast, and here are some things to watch out for in the coming week. First up, the OECD is rolling out its 2026 work plan in a bravura display of business as usual. You really wouldn't know how difficult the last 6 months have been. Anyway, no surprise, they're planning to keep releasing Pillar 2 guidance and updates, focusing on making things simpler, maybe, providing targeted advice, and helping different countries coordinate as they put the rules in place. Some of the changes in the works include making the permanent safe harbour rules clearer and more flexible, like including rules about routine profits, de minimis thresholds, and making it easier for groups moving in and out of safe harbours, like the simplified ETR safe harbour. They're also thinking about bringing some of these simplified approaches into the main globe rules. Plus, there's more guidance coming for investment companies, minority-owned entities, and industries like airlines and real estate investment vehicles. Globe Information Reporting, or GIR, are getting some small updates too, with a goal of keeping extra data requests to a minimum and making the reporting process more straightforward. Fingers crossed. And the OECD is also pushing ahead with a globe coordination mechanism. This would work rather like a MAP or mutual agreement procedure, initiated by taxpayers to help coordinated interpretation and implementation of globe rules in different countries. At the same time, the Foreign Tax Administration's Pillar 2 initiative, rather grandly named the Amsterdam Dialogue, is working on a compliance toolkit that should be out by the end of March 2026, plus some new ideas around risk assessment, filing and payment alignment, and helping tax administrations work together. All these efforts are meant to smooth out implementation bumps, but how effective they'll be really depends on whether countries actually align their rules and use these mostly optional coordination tools in practice. And unfortunately, history is not terribly encouraging. Regarding Pillar 2 itself, several jurisdictions have moved to incorporate elements of the side-by-side package into domestic law or have started consultation processes. Japan, Finland, South Korea, and the Slovak Republic advanced legislation or consultations covering the SPS package, with most prioritizing the SPS itself, parent entity, tax incentive, and the transitional CBCR safe harbor, while deferring the simplified ETR safe harbor for later consideration, probably due to its complexity and later effective date. Finally, I'll report back next week on the current UN meetings in New York, but I did want to mention an interesting Oxford economics study commissioned by the International Chamber of Commerce, or ICC. The report finds that if developing countries widely adopt UN Model Article 12AA, allowing gross basis withholding taxes on cross-border services without a permanent establishment, services trade would shrink, with exports and imports down over 4% and South-South trade dropping 8.5%. Although tax collections could rise by $7 billion, this is offset by weaker economic activity, resulting in a net annual revenue loss of $241 million. The report emphasizes that increased trade barriers, reduced investment, and slower productivity threaten the growth of key service sectors. I do think that this is an important set of considerations to feed into the UN deliberations. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and come back next week so that you stay global tax ready.